So again, these are questions that, have been asked to our sales team, lately. So that's what we asked them. Hey, throw us the questions. So
yeah, it's a beautiful building, but the client did go with spray foam, and he ended up getting roll-up doors. He would like to learn more with the pros and cons of what it is when it comes to a roll-up door. Is it the best fit for this building?
What matters is that you follow what's on the plans. Okay? Tubular buildings in probably 99% of the industry are built for utility use. Dang, we're gonna be giving away a hat and a flag of WolfSteel. And welcome backpack. This is Abiel from WolfSteel Buildings, and we're out here in Weatherford, Texas, and we're building a beautiful 30 by 40 metal building with a special lean-to. We're gonna do a quick tour on the action that's going on. We're definitely here to record, but also do a quick inspection, make sure that everything's going the way it's supposed to go for this project. Ed, behind the scenes, hey man, it's kind of cold now.
Yeah, I know. It's a little chilly out here. We got a good cold front, but man, it's my favorite weather, favorite time of the year. Man, I'm excited.
Really?
Yeah, I love the cold.
I can't. I like my jacket, but I just love the heat. And it started to get a little warm, but I know it did. We woke up and it's in the low 40s. 30s.
Yeah. 30s, yeah, high 30s, yeah, 40s for sure, 30s. It's crazy. It's crazy how the weather changes here in Texas.
I think James said this morning it was 37 here in Weatherford.
Wow.
And I know he's pretty close to here as well. But we're gonna go through this project, which is turning out really, really, really nice. Yeah. And we're getting a lot of this type of style of metal building design. We don't want to be too much in their way as they're in action. And right now since they're already working with the trims, they're already starting to spread that out. The sheet metal's already spread out.
Yep.
I know like a day or two ago, these last 2 days, it's been so windy. Yeah. They're really behind about a day, more because of the wind, really just, making it harder for them to install them. So that is something to keep in mind with a lot of weather. Yes. And before we get to the tour, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Follow us on our channels.
And then giveaway as well,
Dang, we're gonna be giving away a hat and a flag of WolfSteel. You know what? It's gonna be a question. Yeah. And talking about questions, the first section is gonna be frequently asked questions of commonly for metal buildings. Yes. And actually this morning we sent a message to all our sales team and said, hey, send us the most frequently asked question that has been asked recently commonly. Yes. And so they shot them, and we're gonna go through all of them, and let's get this started.
Awesome. So the first question, Advil, I guess it was a question that you brought up, location and the access to the site. What does that look like in the beginning stages? Yeah,
so in the beginning stages, obviously in this project, we did the concrete work, so but it definitely looks like we connected to their existing driveway where they actually didn't have this driveway back here. Yes. And you can see here that we did a nice curve form and really up to its building, and we actually elevated the elevation pretty high so there's no water that's coming in.
And then what do you expect when it comes to the materials being dropped off and stuff like that?
Yeah, for tubular metal buildings, which is what we're building here, we fabricate them in Weatherford, and then from there our team will come and they will load. Usually they'll carry like a dually, like a F350 type of, I know Ford fans, right? F350, 3500, and then a trailer. And that trailer is a custom trailer made for tubular metal buildings to carry. So typically we call those the hooks. Go over here, and then you got the trusses, and then we got any of the legs here.
So the whole package, right?
Yeah, everything. This whole building was transported here.
That's insane.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's crazy. Another question from our sales team, David from the Dream Team, is clients always ask if if our crews are in-house or is it subs. If you really want to get into talk about how we do our, how is that process when it comes to our crews?
So our crews usually work with us year round. So it's definitely sub work. That's really how the industry generally works. However, our crews work with us like 4 year round. And what makes us really different is that we fabricate our own frames. And so having said that, everything is pre-cut. So our crews for tubular buildings basically come in and they're just put it all together. So that's how we have all the control. And on top of that, we have our own manuals with specific instructions. And obviously all our trims and everything is custom ordered for our projects. So all that makes it where really our crews, what they're doing here, since it's all prefabricated, it's just putting it together. So what we ask of them is the high quality construction, which is like putting the screws lined up, making sure that it's just put into place, but everything's already like pre-cut and you basically just come in and assemble. This came from Weatherford, so it's just down the street. Down the street,
right? And then you mentioned time frames and you know, an assembly. Roy from our sales team as well, you know, touched on points of time frames and walkthroughs. You know, what is that process? How long does it usually take? Talk to us about that as well.
Yeah, in the tubular industry, what makes it different is a couple things. Number one, when you're asking for a price on a tubular building or asking for timelines, usually the timeline will always be like, oh, you'll get it in 2 to 5 weeks or 3 to 5 weeks or 3 to 6 weeks. So it's usually a timeline because usually what happens is that they're trying to schedule the project with other projects to load them all in a truck and be able to do multiple, kind of like an Amazon delivery, right? So they're doing multiple buildings as they go through, and so they try to deliver at that time. That's how it works. For us, since we're so local and we focus only on local, we usually only carry one project at a time. Like that's just our motto, and that allows us to have a little bit more control of the timeline.
Gotcha.
So whenever we actually present a timeline though, we present a full project timeline, because that's what makes us different, is that we do the whole project. We do concrete work. You know, right now we're going to be doing spray foam on this project as well.
That is correct, yep.
And gutters. I'm not sure if there is, I think that's it, because we got the roll-up doors here.
Yes, that is correct. And then you mentioned spray foam and roll-up doors. Ivan from our sales team as well.
Ivan?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Ivan, who's been killing it. He did mention a question, you know, it's a beautiful building, but the client did go with spray foam, and he ended up getting roll-up doors. He would like to learn more with the pros and cons of what it is when it comes to a roll-up door. Is it the best fit for this building when getting spray foam? What do you think?
So that's a great question. Okay, so when you spray foam a building, you're insulating the building, right? We always recommend that all your accessories, which is like your windows, your doors, which is like your garage doors, roll-up doors, everything to be insulated, because then you have some leaks. Okay, there's one big factor here, and this factor is across the board for anyone. That's a budget.
Yep.
As much as you want to do everything, I mean, as much as you do, you're also limited on a budget of what you can, you know, do at the moment, right? So there are a couple ways to like stay in budget. And in this case, one of the beauties that I like about the location is that there's so many trees.
Yeah.
Trees give you a lot of shade, which keeps things cooler. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
So one of the negatives about a roll-up door is that the roll-up doors are made out of steel and they're not insulated.
Yeah.
But with these trees, the roll-up doors are not going to get hit by the sun as much. You can see all the shade that's going on right here.
Yeah.
This is heaven for an installer of metal buildings during this time, during the because you got shade all day long. You're working, right?
Yeah.
So a roll-up door is actually definitely a good fit for this project, especially with the brush seals that we have here. So we already got the brush seals ready to install.
Gotcha.
And so the brush seals are going to go around, and that's going to show. So here, I think the roll-up door is a great way. You can always upgrade it later on, but it's a great way to stay within budget, because he did go with cedar posts.
Yeah.
And those cedar posts are definitely giving this building a different edge.
Gotcha. And then Greg mentioned there the cedar post. Argenis from the Alpha Wolves, right?
Okay. Shout out to Argenis and the Alpha Wolves.
He did say, since the building has a cedar post, could you give us, a little breakdown why they're a little bit costly than cedar encasements?
The cedar posts are, I think a post is, they're from $500 to like $900. That's to even install it. Keep in mind, we do like a little ledge to sit the post on top, because wood rots, steel rusts, right? Yeah. So wood, we're trying to protect it from any standing still water to penetrate and that. So we definitely have, wherever you see the opening, we have a nice slope, so water is not standing still right on the little porch area. That is something that is added on when we do cedar posts. And then on top of that, the cedar post installing of it just takes a little bit more time, because usually we use the base rail to square everything out. But instead here, we have to use a line and laser to start working and making sure that we line it up to support the header at the top.
And then another question that I did want to touch base on, Rodrigo as well, who just started off a couple months ago as well. He's been killing it.
Shout out to Rodrigo from the, what's his team now? The Full Moon Snipers?
Full Moon Snipers, I believe. He did mention a great question here. When a client wants to, frame out their building inside, but the project's categorized as utility, how is that? How do we go about that,
So again, these are questions that, have been asked to our sales team, lately. So that's what we ask them. Hey, throw us the question. So if the building is a utility use, So let me explain what utility use, residential use, and commercial use is to start with, okay? Tubular buildings in probably 99% of the industry are built for utility use. And what that just means is just it's like a residential code, an engineering code that defines, the construction, and it's like a risk category. So the construction, if it's going to be used for utility, is basically for non-living or non-habitable. You get into risk category 2 is where like it's like residential, small commercial. Risk category 3 is like when there's, I think, a certain amount of people inside the structure, which is like, I think, over 150 or 300. Don't quote me specifically. Yeah. But that's where risk category 3 goes. And then it just keeps going up. The higher it is more like in case of a war or like a natural disaster, these buildings are supposed to hold up, to that, or as a shelter. Okay? I see. Utility use structures usually don't have a lot of collateral load. Usually they're just built for just storage, which you can use as like a workshop, right? And so they can definitely build in the inside as long as you are basically not touching the building, and building within the inside. I see. Does that make sense? Because if you are gonna start hanging, your whole interior frame and doing, the recommendation is that you have to have more of a specific engineering for specifically what you're wanting. That's why for all our residential and commercial, we require specific engineering. Yes. And for everything. Because a lot of times, the buildings, especially even if you're like adding brick or you're adding anything, the building has to be made to withstand any deflections. And so there's so many factors, and that's why having an architect or having someone that can put it all together and make sure that everything coordinates is very important, and that's why residential and commercial projects take that type of that. But for utility structure, you can get a utility structure, build within the inside, and it's common.
This was a pretty long one. It's from our building coordinator, James.
Okay. Yes. Yep. James. Shout out to James.
Yeah, lives down the street as well. From
Yep. And don't forget to check out the video we did a Metal Talks with him on car lifts. A lot of people really, really love that podcast. It was like a podcast style Metal Talks about car lifts. He had a business in car performance and stuff with cars. So he really knows his stuff. And we talked about metal buildings with car lifts. And I think if you're a car guy, definitely watch that video. You're gonna get a lot of value how to plan your metal building for working as like a car or workshop. Really? So when clients visit this is what he said, and this is what he said, and I think it's very valuable. Again, don't quote me. We're not real estate agents, or we're not property appraisal people. When clients visit my shop, many times the conversation has mentioned the value of the shop as an investment. Okay. Recently, my wife and I recently had our house property appraised. Again, to refinance, as rates have dropped, okay? Yes. So the only improvements that he has made on his property was doing the metal building that we built for him, right? Which is actually a really interesting story. We built his building, then from there, he really liked what we did, and then he's like, hey, I want to be a part of the team, and so that's the whole story with James. And so the building was like about $120K purchase, and so they valued that the steel building was $150K appraised. Wow. So it proves that the building is an investment and that the entire property value went up quite a bit. The lenders discuss a steel building will increase the value of your property more than a pool. Wow. And the reason they said is the pool is a great to have and it's a fun thing that not everyone will use or as a daily. So now lenders, or I guess this is what happened to him, is they said a steel building can be used by anyone, any tenant or homeowner for a multitude of reasons. Run a business out of it, add rooms to your home, park cars, park tractors in it, use for storage, workshop. Possibilities are endless. So there's more use for it. So I'm assuming from someone buying a property and having, because they have a steel building, there can be more use for it that they can see the value of it stays. Wow. Yeah, so he said if he had spent $120K on a pool, it might have raised the value of the property by $30 to $40K max, they said, instead of, the whole value of that. Wow. So in other terms, if you're thinking of buying a steel building, buy one. Buy one if you want to increase the value. But again, we're not I'm not going to say that because I'm not, I'll talk about things that I am good at. Yes. I won't talk about things that I'm not good at. But that's what, that's the information that he was relayed from one of his lenders for a refinance project. So. Wow, that's awesome. And then I guess one last question I wanted to talk about. Ernesto, our sales manager, awesome. He does an amazing job. I love Ernesto. I don't know what would WolfSteel be without him. I love him. He mentioned a great point. If clients are always looking for saving on cost and on their building,
having gutters on that main building side helps, you know, guide water. But if you're able to remove that and just have the gutters on the lean-to, that would fall as a cost-saving option, right?
So for gutters, like you can definitely, you know, usually we'll quote having gutters running along the eaves of the main structure.
Yes.
And then downspouts that will drop down to, you know, water onto the lean-to.
Yes.
Okay. And then from there it's go. However, if you did want to save, you could remove the gutters of the main structure on above the lean-to side only.
Yes.
And therefore all the water that's coming from the main structure will fall on the lean-to, and then add the gutters on the lean-to only. There's some savings there, but it is a way to do it. However, I'm not a huge fan because I'm more about aesthetics.
Aesthetics, right?
So that's just me. I like aesthetics. So when I look at it, it's like it looks more symmetrical when I do have gutters, you know? So gutters on the main structure, because especially when you're gonna be the client here is gonna be driving up to it.
Yeah.
It's like you got a castle, like just like standing at a high elevation, again because of water. We have it at a high elevation.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see at least 4 inches because the property has also like some elevation from here.
Yeah.
But it's a great point because it is something where you can save.
Awesome. Last question, Adbil, before we get into, you know, the actual tour part. Rodrigo, again, wind speeds and wind ratings. You know, he's been getting a lot of clients wanting to upgrade to that 12 gauge tubing because they'll think it'll hold up stronger against winds. What do you think on that? Like, you gave us a little bit insight of that.
The way the plans come in, the generic plans, is that anything that you build out of there will meet the wind load that you're building it for. It doesn't matter if you have horizontal walls or you have vertical walls. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're using 12 gauge or you're using 14 gauge.
I see.
What matters is that you follow what's on the plans. Okay? Is 12 gauge stronger than 14 gauge? Absolutely. I believe it's about 30% stronger than, or 60%, something like that. Okay, marketing helped me out. There's information, I can't remember every detail. So at the end of the day, yes, it adds more strength, and it will definitely increase the wind loads of certain things, but it still meets your minimum local winds. Like right here in Weatherford, I think it's like 105. Talking about the wind ratings, we build to the wind code of your local area.
I see.
Okay, and so, but usually all our buildings are up to like 120, and that's just like by standard. And so what we have is every zip code has a wind rating that we need to meet. If we get to Houston area, that zip code, that's why we ask for the zip code. That zip code is immediately in our system. We're like, hey, we're at the 130. We need the price for that structure is higher because of that. That's just how it is. So like I can give you guys a little bit more like feedback on like say 12 gauge.
Yeah.
If you're in like upper north, you know, I used to build in the area of Michigan and up north. 12 gauge, you know, especially when you got snow on top of it, the tubes, you know, when you got that, you want a stronger tube that can resist a little bit more deflection or more sagging. Definitely 12 gauge has always been a recommendation, and then it has a higher rust warranty. 12 gauge comes with 20-year, 14 gauge comes with 5 to 10 year. Some companies don't have any. For us, I believe it's 10 years for 14 gauge, and then 12 gauge is 20. Wow. Okay. But that's just up north, right? Yeah. So 12 gauge resisting more rust because you got a lot more snow, you got a lot more exposure to water like that. It's definitely a better option. And then definitely having the sheet metal where you got the vertical roof, where all the snow is just gonna fall off. The only problem with so much snow and having gutters is that it can really So now what you really want is the snow stoppers. Okay. So it allows to hold the snow, slowly letting it fall, but you know, as it melts and stuff like that. Gotcha. It's another
topic.
Yeah, it's a whole topic because we're in Texas. We only service Texas. We're based out of here in Weatherford. We fabricate our own metal buildings for Tubular, and obviously weld it, what we fabricate on site. But locally, and we just drove down the street and now we're putting this up. Man,
that was fun. That was really fun. You know, asking you these questions that clients want to know, they've been asking. So thank you again, Adbil, for
absolutely. Because if you watch a lot of our videos, I mean, I go through the product and what we do, and I think if we, you know, maybe add this into our channel where we answer the frequently asked questions or the questions that are coming up from clients, from people that watch our channel, and we can answer that question.
We get it. Starting a new metal building project can feel overwhelming with concrete here, installation there, permits somewhere else. At WolfSteel, we can take that headache away. From site prep to the last screw, we bring every service under one roof here in Texas for Texans, so you can have your metal building without the stress. We handle tubular buildings, red iron weld up and bolt up buildings, permitting assistance, full concrete slabs with site prep, plus any demolition if needed. Concrete coating options, various installation options, a gutter system for your building, custom doors, windows, and even cedar accents if you want a more rustic look. You need more, like mezzanines, balconies, or masonry, we got that too. We do not service outside of our service area, nor provide material or kits only, and our services do not stand alone. We focus on full turnkey Texas metal building projects. WolfSteel is the easy choice. Texans, we've got you covered. If you fall within the service area, contact us today. If not, I hope our channel is helpful for your metal building project.
Awesome.
Right now, as I mentioned, it's been a really challenging project for us on this one because it's been very, very windy.
Yeah.
So usually the roof will typically start going up first, but if it's too windy, then you kind of got to adjust and play differently. And you can't be putting a roof up there when it's windy because it's very, very dangerous. So they started working on other things, as you can see. So projects like these are very, have a lot of details. So you can see here, we got a nice porch here where essentially what's happening is here you can kind of hang out, grill out, and then in the inside there's also, but this is on a lean-to side.
Yeah, wow.
You know what I mean?
They,
and then
they enclose that part, right?
We can go under it. They're working under. So usually what I recommend when our team is building is try not to be in their way. There's going to be a lot of screws or shavings and stuff like that. So protect your pets by not having them out there even in the afternoon. Maybe create a little area where they're out there, because if they grab, like, if they get themselves cut with like a piece of metal or anything shaving, I have a pet, so I you know.
Seen it happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And then also your kids, you know. So usually, you know, at the end of the day is when they do a full like cleanup to try to have good housekeeping.
Gotcha.
But during the day they're in action, so you know, it's just a lot of action going on.
I see.
Nice concrete work. Again, our notch details. You can see the little shavings that happen. You know, so the concrete notch details, all the anchors. But then again, this is 14 foot tall, so we have double legs. You can see here we welded, you know, double leg. And so the reason why we do this is because some companies with their engineer plans, you don't really need double. But the reason why we do double is also because the rattling. Okay, so I don't believe that even the end walls, which are not load-bearing walls, should be single column. They just rattle with the wind. They won't. Nothing will happen to it, but you can feel that the rattle.
That rattling,
All right, guys, and then for a 14-foot leg, well, we definitely do our 12, like a double leg. Okay, again, this is because the higher the building, and the way I like to explain is, it's like if I'm like this and I get pushed, I'm definitely gonna, you know what I mean? But I open up my stance, I'm gonna resist more. That's why, like red iron construction, they have the I-beams that are like, you know, they just span, right? That's exactly what we're doing here for a 14-foot leg. We got the span, but we still have them at 5-foot spacing. This is basically creating a 2.5 by 5. You can see all the welding of the trusses as well. And that's what the things that our clients have said that they love about, you know, 13, 14-foot buildings is like, man, it just looks like
so reinforced.
so reinforced. I mean, nothing's gonna happen here.
Talk to us about this header.
Yeah, so if you can see here, even our header is double, so we got it double because of the legs being double. I mean, we could have just did it single, but it just looks a lot better and a lot more reinforced. And I mean, it's
nice, it's well built.
There's a way to do it where it could have been single, but I believe the engineering, the way we got we put it at 2. The bigger you make your header, also that also adds more strength. Does that make sense? But we did it double, and that also keeps it minimal, where it doesn't take up a lot of the head space.
I see.
From here, they're still gonna finish it off in the inside. We're gonna put, as you can see here, like if you go around, like we got the cuts, but this is all like dangerous. We're still gonna put a trim here.
Oh, okay,
we're gonna put the U-trim, the trim here, flash it all out, and make sure that all the cuts are protected. It's looking good. Little details that I've already spoken with our team about. Just small little ones. little scratches, but we got touch-ups. So that is another thing, is like you're gonna see small little scratches that are just inevitable on a project like this. But there's also touch-ups for touching up little things. Obviously, if there's more, then it needs a replacement.
Yes.
And you can see here our finishing is just really nice and clean.
Wow. Very clean.
Super clean, man.
Wow.
Again, this is a 30x40 metal building. And then we got the lean-to connection, and the lean-to is a 10 wide by 20 enclosed, and then the other 20 section is what's the porch section.
Gotcha.
Okay, and then definitely we have spray foam coming in.
Yes, spray foam.
And then definitely the exact plan. So that's one of the beauties of like what we do, is that the less that there's changes happening on the site, like where, hey, can you move the window, can you move this? If the material's not here, then it just delays the project. I know that's actually a common practice, a common way of doing actually the work.
Yeah.
We are very particular, and that's why our planning department usually, you'll take about 2 to 3 weeks in our planning department where we go back and forth with our clients. Like, okay, look, here's the plans. You know, is the measurement correct? Okay, are we 2 to 6 feet, 2 foot 6 inches away from the edge? Is that good? Okay, great. We get everything measured, even the windows, everything, just to make sure. You can still make some changes on the site.
Yes.
But usually that allows the client to not have to be on site, just hey, no, move. You know what I mean? Like it's all planned out. All planned out.
Wow.
And that also aligns with all our notch details. So that way the doors, you know, they come in and they already know that they got to set it up. And you saw our notches around.
Yes.
That they're all like really on point.
Really on point.
So shout out to Santos who did the concrete here. He did a great job.
Great job. Yep. And then you mentioned planning as well. We have a big power line here. So that is something, you know, that our team always takes in consideration when building.
Yeah, one thing to always look at when you're selecting where you're going to be building your building, the location of your build. You should not have a power line too close. This is far enough. You know, you want at least 10-foot radius around.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had scenarios where, just being in the industry for long, a couple people, you know, actually already. From what I remember, 2 people have gotten from a power line. Yes. So it's very, very, very important. So we got this brown with taupe.
Taupe. Wow.
Yeah. So this is taupe, definitely for the walls, and then you got brown for your sheet panels. Definitely a wainscoting wainscot or two-tone. Two-tone is definitely going to be a little bit more in price because if you can see here, like it's just double the work. So we definitely have the taupe, the wainscoting, and then so we set this first, put the wainscot, and then we put the other panel.
Yeah.
So it's double, and we have to make sure that it's aligning. So it's double the work.
Yep.
If it would have been just one single panel, it's just click and go.
Ready to go.
So that's why there's extra labor,
extra detail, right?
Extra detail that's involved, and then this has the foam gap enclosure, so they got to set the foam gap enclosures at the bottom and then at the top.
Gotcha. That was a great video, man. Lots of great information. Again, this is, you know, clients want to see, you know, not just the building being built or not just the ending, but you know, the process as well. So showcasing that. So Admiral, thank you for taking us on this awesome tour. I think we did want to ask, you know, that question for the giveaway.
Oh.
So before we end the video, what would be you mentioned something in the video.
I got a question, and the question is, where are we based out of? Where's our headquarters at? Yeah, simple. Yeah. Where's our headquarters at? If you know the first one to leave the answer on the description or on the comments, we'll send them out a flag and a cool hat. So
awesome.
Thank you guys.
Awesome.
Aside from that, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Other than that, Ed, any final comments?
No, man. I mean, I could be out here all day watching the crew work. I mean, these guys are doing a phenomenal job.
We have a lot of clients that literally, like, you know, they sit down, they're having their coffee, and they're watching this getting erected. Again, this is probably like a 3 to 4 day project, but it's gonna take them about 4 to 5 because they're behind because of that. Just windy. It's just been so windy. It just really threw them off. Awesome. Overall, they're doing a great job. So.
Heck yeah! And plus, we have a fire pit right here, so you know, throwing a little fire in there.
Yeah, and
maybe some s'mores.
They're getting ready for it.
Heck yeah! But that's all I got for you today, Admiral. Thank you again for taking us on this awesome tour.
Awesome, beautiful guys. Well, we'll see you guys in the next one.
What's up, Pack? Remember to stay up to date with everything that we're up to by checking out our social media. You can find us at WolfSteel Buildings for behind the scenes action. We share our latest projects, update on what the team is working on, and all the exciting progress happening in real time. Don't miss out on the action, and remember to give us a follow.